Is there still money to make in the Dubai villa market? This is a question a lot of people are talking about. Let's look at the last 5 years. The last 5 years have been incredible. Post-COVID, we saw the market absolutely rocket. We saw tons of people from all over the world move to Dubai. You saw famous celebrities and whatnot. Everyone started shifting their wealth, and that is still happening. But now, naturally, after 5 long years of success in the market, we are starting to see a natural slowdown, and that's okay. That's a sign of a mature market, and it doesn't worry me or it doesn't worry my investors. But the underlying question is, where is the money to make now then? So right now, we are in one of our beautifully upgraded villas in the Meadows. Okay, we spent 8 months renovating this villa from top to bottom. And this is where it gets interesting, because if we look at Dubai's landscape, you've got either buying into ready prime communities as one option or buying into an off-plan master community. So where is the most money being made? And it gets interesting because I was having this debate with somebody the other day. If we look at 2 different communities like Meadows versus, let's say, Acres by Morass, undoubtedly the Acres by Morass community will be so much better. It'll be better because it's got more amenities, they've got more greenery, they've got better landscapes. You know, you got to remember Meadows is 15 years old, but what's the biggest difference? The location. So then we had the debate, well, let's think about it. If we're living in Dubai or wherever you are in the world, you buy a barbecue for the first time. The first 2-3 weeks, you're obsessed with your barbecue. Or you buy a new air fryer, you're obsessed with your air fryer. Then after 2-3 weeks, you stop, you're used to it, it's there. So you stop feeling like, I don't need to use it as much. And generally that's what happens when people live in these communities. At first, the amenities seem like the biggest selling point. And then gradually, you care more about the location, because every day you're driving to work or you're driving to certain locations. And if we look at Meadows as a landscape and the area of it compared to where the Acres is going to be, well, if you lived in anywhere like Marina, if you wanted to go to somewhere like Marina, downtown, Business Bay, all right, each area has its little difference, but Meadows is so centrally located, okay? It's near a lot of schools, it's nearer to the ocean, it's nearer to the Palm Jumeirah. You know, people buy into Meadows not because the community is amazing like some of these new ones will be, no, because of the location, okay? So then we have to look at renovations as a whole. Is there still money in this field? And this is where I, again, was having this debate. Now, yes, there is still a lot of money to make in renovations. Why? Because you can build a unique home. There is nothing in Meadows that exists like this where we are right now. But if you're buying into an off-plan launch, generally all houses are going to be the same. But here's the difference, right? If we're looking at off-plan launches, you need to be looking at what's unique about the properties that you're buying. So for example, in the Oasis by Amar, there was a 4-bedroom floor plan, okay, and it was in the Palace. Okay, so first of all, it's branded, the Palace Residences, they've kind of branded it and packaged it like that, but it's a 4-bedroom with a basement. There are not many 4-bedrooms with basements. This is a 4-bedroom and it certainly doesn't have a basement, but the floor plan was massive. So then if we compare it to, let's say, the Acres by Morass or, the Wilds by Aldar, a lot of these communities, right, all the floor plans are quite similar. So we're going to see a lot of these villas all hand over at the same time. So then we have to beg the question, like, is there much more appreciation? Is there much more room? Because they did launch pretty high, okay? So if we take, again, now looking back at ready communities, if we take renovated properties, we see Jumeirah Golf Estates now hitting above 5,000 dirhams per square foot. And these are on property transactions of highly upgraded villas, very highly upgraded villas, unique upgraded villas with, incredible materials, very thoughtful designs, things that you won't see on the market. And there are buyers willing to pay that 5,000 dirhams per square foot. But now if you ask me, where is the best opportunities? I said in one of my videos, Meadows was bought under 10 million dirhams, but you wouldn't even be able to buy this villa for under 10 million dirhams standard anymore. It would be over a 10, maybe 11, but the resale value isn't going to exceed that sort of 16.5 mark. Because I do believe there's a bit of a cap on a 4-bedroom house that can't be extended more than, like 3,800, 4,000 square foot, right? So you have to look at the fundamentals of the area. But if we take Jumeirah Golf Estates, for example, you can do a lot more with the houses. They're a lot bigger sizes. They're overlooking a golf course. This is overlooking a park. So all of a sudden you go from a 3,800 square foot house, okay, to a Jumeirah Golf Estates house that's over 8,000, 9,000 square foot looking on the golf course. That's where the big premiums are to be made. But fundamentally, you have to spend a lot more money. Your entry point now is probably going to be 18 to 20 to 25 mil, maybe not 25, but less than 25. Then you need to spend the money to make it to a super high standard, which can be 5, 6, 7 million dirhams. And then your exit though would be 35, 38. Again, we're seeing these transactions be shattered every single month. So what it looks like now, if you had a resale value in mind of 35 mil, it could be 40 mil. So that's where we start seeing the sort of 20, 30% return on investments now, within 12, 15 months. But now anything under that sort of 10 million mark, you're going to struggle to find. And that's why I advise a certain buyer to look at direct off-plan from developer. That's a strategic way to, hold on to your money, buying in an off-plan community. But the key here is buying a unique product. Try to find something that, even if you're buying into a large community like the Acres by Morass, you want to be finding properties that are backing onto lagoons or backing onto some sort of green belt or something like that. All right. So that's kind of one avenue to go down. Second is, you need to check the price per square foot in these communities, because this is important. We've seen a few villa communities launch recently, and they're priced so high. They're priced so high. So then it's like, where's the value going to be in the future? And then number 3 is the floor plans, right? As I said to you before, is it offering anything unique? Is there a basement? Is there some sort of rooftop terrace? Is there something that this villa can offer that makes it a bit special? And then, of course, the developer and their master community plan and what they intend on doing. So that's kind of like one segment of the market, the off-plan directly from the developer. Then you've got off-plan resale. So the resale is essentially where, you're purchasing it from somebody else. And it's funny because we see these communities that sold out instantly, the Wilds, Acres, all these other communities, but people are still reselling their properties at original price. Because, first of all, they've not even started or barely started construction yet. So there's still 4 years lead time. And if I wanted to come in and buy that off-plan resale from you and you were selling it at original price and you paid 20%, well, I've actually got to front 50% of the entire operation because that's what they want, 40 or 50%. Sometimes it's 30, but it's generally 40, 50% up front. So as an investor, I could come in now and buy that, but I've got to put 50% up front. That's a lot of money to put in for something that I still have to wait 4 years. If it's a 20 million dirham villa, I'll put down 10 mil and wait 4 years for it to be ready. My cash isn't really working for me. However, you can still get some cracking deals. But, the off-plan resale could be suited towards someone who maybe wants something ready in, 2 years or 1 year. Look at Damac Lagoons. As much as people slate Damac, sometimes as a developer, I believe that their quality has got so much better over the past 4 years, 3 years. But you can still buy, a 7-bedroom on a lagoon for like 12 million dirhams. That's insanely cheap compared to what we see on the market. And then number 3 is the renovations. That's something that we specialize in. That's something that we love doing, and it's something that we see a lot of movement and growth with. But the entry point now, if you come to me with 5, 7, 10 million dirhams, I'm going to struggle to find you something that I can make you 12% on. But that's why we offer a service which is property renovation consulting. So rather than getting actively involved with it, I'm just going to kind of advise you. If you want to get more of a lead on it and you want to take more of a stance on it, you don't want that hands-off experience, you want to learn the game yourself, well, that's okay. I can be beside you, you can pay us a fee and we'll look after you and make sure that you're working with the right contractors, the right things are being put in place. And then if you're an investor who's got that larger capital, that sort of 20, 30, 40 mil dirhams, and you want to make that considerable return, which we talk about, 20, 30%, then that's something we can help off with, and you can have a complete hands-off experience. We did this from start to finish. James, now business partner, was my investor, but we partnered up because he saw the vision and he said, I want to do this more. So we're doing more properties together and he's getting a bit more actively involved, and that's how we like to build our relationships, Started off with an idea, it started off with a plan, and then that plan just progressed. The moral of this story is to basically give you some insight that we can do this. We can help you step by step, whether you're looking to purchase off-plan in the villa communities, off-plan resale or renovations. There is still money to make, but you have to be selective, you have to be advised right, because I do believe that we are coming into a much tougher market now, but that should not put you off. A mature market is a good market because it doesn't mean there's as much volatility in the future. There's these sudden drops in Dubai that we used to see in 2008, 2014. I don't believe that's going to happen again. Of course, I don't have, a magic wand that would tell me the future, but realistically now in a mature market, we're going to see less and less of this. So there is still money to make in Dubai. There is still plenty of opportunities in Dubai, but you need the right advice. You need the right advisor, and we're here to help from start to finish. If you want any more information, book a call with me or my team below. I look forward to seeing you there.